Good good morning, everybody. Jack Leeson with StartupTrading.com. It is January 8th, 2025, and the title of the video is spelled wrong. It's extension, short, and control for now. Put a Z instead of an X for some reason. It's abbreviated anyway. Alrighty. So yesterday, we were coming in the day inside of a traditional short versus an extension long, and then on the back of news, we cracked that long fairly quickly and move down into extensions. One of the things I want to point out, and I mentioned yesterday, and it's actually here, this box, where that box is from, but this higher time frame extension, which is from the September 11th high, that is the anchor I've been watching, and we have not traded the 50% retracement. Yesterday, the low of the day and the same anchor in the ES was the 38. In the overnight session, that's where our bid is from, or roughly like that area. So you can see this box I drew a couple days ago. I haven't moved it over yet, but I'll do that now. I must have drawn this yesterday, but bringing this over didn't come into play yesterday. Bringing this over here for the day, you can see that is where our, of course I just sent it off the right side of my screen, damn it. Oh, hold on. I edited the date a little too far. Here we go. All right, so in the overnight session, that's what we ran into, and that's going to be really the bull or bear point post FOMC. I think, like, if we are losing that level, then I do think we're on our way to the 50% of that extension, and that is still, pretty well below us, down at 20,870s. So that's the next stop on the train. I think we would probably, on a negative reaction, get below last Thursday's low. We had a huge rally Thursday. This move from Thursday to Monday was massive. It's basically 21,000 to almost 22,000. It was almost 1,000 points in 2 days. And we have now reversed that and are continuing down. Right now, there's no reason for me to believe that the bulls have control. Coming out of this traditional short on the prior day, we lost the extension, and then we immediately went into we lost the extension long and immediately went into short setups. Now, the first short setup here yesterday we were paying attention to was from the anchor of 935, and that's that one that gave 100 points very quickly, and then we ended up rotating down into a same anchor new low. Now, what was also interesting, and this is what I pointed out yesterday in the room, that we had the possibility of starting a Monday low to low, and that actually pierced here, but I wasn't really expecting. I was expecting that could potentially happen, and we ran into the other extension, just a different setup, same trend, different setup. But then this is what was interesting, and this was picture perfect. We make a new low during lunch. We just moderately sweep that low, create a pretty impressive short covering rally that was basically straight up with no entry, that literally ticked the re-engagement of the extension from Monday's low to low. So a lot of times will happen, you'll break that first test of the extension, we'll make a new low, and then rally all the way back up into the fill, into the setup. 130 happens, immediately we spend the rest of the day targeting that negative 23. And that was, to me, a really impressive, it's just like, who's writing this? It's like picture perfect. It's like, okay, break the extension, break the low, re-engage the extension, rally up into highs, lunch ends, straight to target. So that leaves us to where we currently are. And once we completed that profit target, this anchor to the new low gives us a whole new setup here in the overnight session. And that 38% retracement was what was basically sold into. I'm going to leave this draw as is right now. I know we've made a new low in the overnight session, and that is going to be a variation that you could pay attention to. But I do want to be aware of the possibility of us actually sweeping overnight highs and immediately running into this setup. Which is 21,463. So I'd be very wary of maybe just, if we get up here, a potential reversal. That's one thing I want to pay attention to. Now, if you so decide to draw to new low, which is also it's just another variation of a potential short setup, and we're going to need to pay attention to these levels as well. You can actually see here in the overnight session so far, we have traded at 8:30 the 38% retracement. There was sellers there. We dropped 50 some points off of it. Clearly sellers. The 50% retracement is going to be 21,434. That's where I'm going to leave my draw for the time being, and that is where I'm going to, as far as I'm going to put my premium levels, really everything above that 50 for now for the morning open. I'm not looking for any new longs above that 50 whatsoever. I mean, realistically, I wouldn't be looking for any longs above this 38 right off the open. Actually, that's my discount level. What am I doing? The discount level for the morning session will be that 38% retracement. I'm not going to be looking for new shorts below this, and I'm not going to be looking for new longs basically above where we're currently trading. So that is how I see this market here today in the NASDAQ. I know that's a lot, maybe something you want to watch twice, but it's all true. Moving on to the S&P 500, and then backing out here, paying attention to, once again, that September 11th extension. I just want to mention, we have only traded the 50% retracement in the ES. Okay? We've only traded it in the ES. The 38 here was support on the prior day. The 38 was support on the prior day. And if you guys remember the discount level yesterday in the morning, great reaction. I mean, the premium, this was the premium 60.35, where, basically shorts of the trade. And then this was the discount where longs of the trade. I mean, to draw that before it happens, pretty cool. That's some technical analysis. But anyway, back to that 38% retracement. It was yesterday's low. As the NASDAQ was completing its extension, the ES was as well. And we just rallied off of that level. So I'm going to use that as my morning discount level. So as far as the extension goes, I'm just using the ES is totally different than the NASDAQ, where I believe just have this 940 anchor. It traded in the morning at 10:15, rolled over. It traded again to the lows of 10:45, and then it traded its 38% retracement to the lows of 12:50. We draw it to the new low of the day, and then you can see that overnight session is that 38% retracement. And I'm even going to do the same thing I'm doing in the NASDAQ, which is just adjusting it to the full low. And then really anything above that, maybe we could sweep up there, but I'm not looking this morning any longs really above 59.65. I would just look for a reload of the shorts at these previous resistance levels. So with that being said, that's going to wrap up my morning trade plan. Obviously, FOMC is going to be the big news of the day. The minutes. Okay, there was a rate cut in December. That rate cut, the market got absolutely torched on. So I think there's people probably a little more hedged into this. So it'll be interesting to see what the reaction is. But I'll share these levels with you guys in the room and jump on the Discord. Take care.